A man had caught a very big fish, but instead of happiness, there was sadness on his face. Even after catching such a big fish, there was no excitement in him. He had not only caught one, but many fish. He carefully puts the fish in a box and then returns to his place. His place was actually a wreckage of a crashed plane. That's when it turns out that this man was a victim of a plane crash. And for some reason, he was trying to live alone in the snowy area of Arctic. His daily life was very difficult. He only had fish to eat, and he also ate them raw. After finishing his meal, he would get back to work. He would pick up a generator and climb the highest mountain nearby. When he reached there, he would send a weak radio signal, hoping that maybe a plane would catch that signal and come to help him. There is no clear difference between day and night in Arctic. That's why he had to be dependent on his watch to find out the time. Before going to sleep, he would lay down his sleeping bag. He would wear thick clothes, and he would cover himself completely so that he could avoid the cold. Every day he would go to a special place. There was a pile of stones, on which he would carefully remove the frozen snow. It looked like he was looking after a grave. Maybe it was the grave of his friend or wife. He would dig the soil there. He would take out the light-colored stones, so that he could clearly see the difference between white snow and deep soil. Every day at a fixed time, he would leave that place. From a distance, it was clear that he had made a huge SOS signal with the help of snow and stones, so that the planes passing through the sky could see him. After this, it was time for him to catch a fish. With thick ropes and wires, he had made a simple tool to catch a fish. One day, his fishing line broke. It seemed that this time a very big fish was trapped. Suddenly, a big iron bell started ringing. The man understood that something is trapped. He ran immediately and started pulling the line. But for him, just catching a fish was not enough. It was also necessary to send a rescue signal. That's why he always kept an eye on every activity around him. He was afraid that the mysterious, huge creature might be seen again, which he had seen before. One day, when he was returning after finishing the job of sending the signal, he again saw that huge creature. It looked like a big animal which was keeping an eye on him from a distance, and was waiting for the right time. Days passed by, cleaning the grave, keeping the SOS signal, catching the fish, and sending the radio signal. These had become a part of his daily life. Then one day, when he was sending the signal at the foot of the mountain, he saw thick black clouds coming in the far sky. Suddenly, the signal light of his tool lit up. His heart started beating fast. He immediately started running the generator faster. In excitement, he put down his cap and started looking around. Then he saw a helicopter flying in the far sky. The sparkle of hope returned in his eyes. He immediately took out a smoke flare and started waving it vigorously. Finally, the helicopter changed direction and started coming towards him. After so many days, he felt that now his salvation is certain. But maybe fate was not with him yet. When the helicopter was about to land, then a strong gust of snowy wind came. The pilot lost control. The helicopter turned twice in the air and then collided with the ground. The man who had seen the light of hope a few seconds ago, he again drowned in the darkness of despair. Tears filled his eyes. Happiness, sorrow, anger, and helplessness all came together in his mind. After a while, he controlled himself and ran towards the scene with all his strength. He broke the door of the helicopter and went inside. The male pilot had died, but there was also a woman inside. The seatbelt had saved his life. However, she was seriously injured. The man immediately took out the first aid kit and started bandaging her wounds. The woman's breathing was very weak. She was neither able to speak properly nor could she move. After taking care of her, the man himself got tired and collapsed and slept inside the helicopter. The next morning, when the alarm rang, he woke up and started looking for useful things in the helicopter. He found a snow-chopping hammer, 2 signal flares, a big map, and some instant noodles. He immediately opened a packet of noodles and started eating them dry. After many months, for the first time in his mouth, he ate something other than fish. After this, he prepared to return to his base. He took out a door of the helicopter and made a permanent sledge from it. Then he wrote on the helicopter that there are 2 survivors here and a woman is seriously injured. He carefully pulled the woman on that sledge and took her to his place. It was very difficult to pull her on the snow. When he reached there, he put the woman on his bed. Then he got the identity card of the woman. Both were from different countries. The man repeatedly asked the woman to close her fist so that she remains conscious and does not become unconscious. He took off all his clothes to the woman and then returned to the helicopter so that he could bring the rest of the luggage. The pilot's body was now completely frozen. The man took off his clothes so that they could be used and then made a grave for him there with snow and stones. Inside the helicopter, he also got a gas stove and a lighter. When he lit the fire, for the first time after many months, the real fire was burning in front of him. He took his hands to him and began to feel the heat. This feeling was no less than a miracle for him. He also got a family picture there. Seeing the picture, his heart became heavy. He kept that picture in the pocket of his jacket. When he started packing his luggage, some sounds began to come from behind the helicopter. When he went and saw, there was a real snow sledge lying there. Seeing this, a smile came on his face after months. He looked at his weak sledge and then at the new sledge. Now his problems could have been a little easier. At night, he lit the gas stove and enjoyed the heat. He kept the picture of his wife and family near the window. He was feeling very guilty. He felt that if he had not pointed the helicopter towards him, perhaps that family would still be living a happy life. Now he had a big and clear map. He had tried to leave this area before but could not go far. This time he started planning new routes. During this time, the bell to catch fish began to ring loudly. He ran to his net and started pulling the line. This time he was lucky. He caught a very big and fat Arctic fish. He immediately made a delicious fish soup from it. First of all, he tasted a piece of the fish. After months, he got the taste of hot and fresh food. Then he prepared noodles and tried to feed the woman too. The woman ate a small piece of the fish, but after that she could not even open her mouth. For the next few days, the man kept repeating his daily routine. But he did not find any sign of any rescue team anywhere. Gradually, all his medicines were over. There was no improvement in the woman's condition either. The man understood that if he did not do anything soon, then the woman's death is certain. That night, he could not sleep at all. Guilt and worry were eating him inside. The next morning, he took out the map he had found from the helicopter and marked an expected parallel road on it. After making a plan, he again reached the top of the mountain at an altitude of about 1,000 meters and started looking at the endless snowfield that spread far and wide. Looking at the endless white snow all around, the man finally made a big decision. He decided that now he would cross this deadly snowfield. He filled all the fish caught in his bag and also kept a full bottle of water to drink. When all the necessary things were collected, he tied the injured woman to the sledge tightly and left her unstoppable but expected safe place for the journey. Walking on soft snow while pulling the sledge was very tiring, but more important than that was to keep the right direction. As far as the eye could see, only white snow could be seen. There was no sign, no tree, no thing of recognition. That's why whenever he reached a mountain, a cliff, or any other landform, he would immediately take out his map and identify his position so that the path would not get lost. But soon he realized that he had very little chance of pulling the sledge. It was not only a test of physical strength, but also a test of his mental strength and willpower. Many hours passed. Gradually, it started to get dark. The man decided to spend the night under a snowy mountain. He dug snow and made a big snow pit for 2 people. It worked like a natural insulator that kept the cold air outside and kept the heat inside safe. With this, the temperature of the woman's body could be saved from falling very quickly. The next morning, he continued on the path he had chosen. Soon, the first big challenge of his journey was in front of him. There was a very steep slope on his way. It was about 60 degrees and looked completely different from the path shown in the map. He got scared, took out the map and checked again. He found out that he had not lost his way. The problem was that if he had gone around this mountain instead of crossing it, the distance of the journey would have increased 5 times. He did not have so much food and water. The biggest thing was that the woman's condition was so bad that she would not be able to endure such a long journey. The man first climbed up alone to assess the situation. When he reached the top, he saw that the path across the mountain was quite steep, but the steepness in front of him was no less than a nightmare. He first pulled the luggage up. Somehow this work was done. Then he tied the sledge with ropes and tried to pull the woman up, but he thought the woman's weight was less. Many times while trying, he himself fell down. Looking at the snow spread far away, for a moment, he thought that should he leave the woman here and move forward alone? After all, no one ever knows, but after a few moments of hesitation, his conscience won. He gave up that thought forever and cut the old line on the map and chose a new path. Now he took the woman with him and moved forward in the other direction. After walking for about 4 to 5 hours, he felt that it was time to rest. He saw a natural cave under a mountain. He peeped inside. The place seemed safe. He used all his strength to take the sledge into the cave. The shape of the cave was much bigger there. He could easily run his small gas stove and cook food. At night, he tried to feed the woman, but the woman was so weak that she couldn't even open her mouth. She couldn't even drink water. The increasing cold was worsening her condition. At night, when he was preparing to sleep, suddenly a huge bear came out of the cave. Seeing the bear, his blood froze. He got scared and moved back. The bear was so big that his whole body could not fit in the cave. He could only put his head inside. But the real problem was that the bear was very smart. He started digging the frozen snow in front of the cave. If he kept digging like this, he could get inside in no time. The man immediately lit a signal flare. He took the burning flare in his hand and clung to the bear. Suddenly, the bear got scared seeing the fire and light. He moved back and ran after a while. The man's life was saved, but his fear did not go away. He sat in the corner of the cave for a long time and shivered. The next morning, he got up and looked around. There was no sign of the bear anywhere. Then he set out on a journey with the woman. Many days passed. One day, a terrible snowstorm started. The wind was so strong that he could not even open his eyes. The man immediately tied the iron rope to the snow and decided to stay there. Then he and the woman entered the sleeping bag and spent the night. By the time the storm was over, they were half buried in the snow. The man got out of the sleeping bag with great difficulty. He saw that his hands were frozen. Every small movement caused a wave of pain in his whole body. He kept breathing hot on his hands, but he was getting very little relief. Still, he did not give up. He endured the pain and got down and burned his bag to keep the woman warm. But the situation was getting worse. The woman's wounds were infected. She had a high fever. She was unconscious. Her breathing was very weak and blood was oozing from the edges of her mouth. The man understood that the woman's life had come to an end. Tears came out of his eyes. Finally, he took a difficult decision. He thought that maybe he should move forward alone. But as soon as he took a few steps, the ground crumbled under him. He fell straight into a deep hole. When he regained consciousness, he found that his right foot was badly stuck. He tried to remove his foot with all his strength, but it was of no use. Seeing his condition, he started laughing like crazy. He did not understand why fate was playing such a cruel joke on him. Finally, he got tired and lied down on the ground. The man who had been making him strong like iron for so many days started shedding tears from his eyes. But he was not ready to die in this dark hole. He gathered his courage again. He grabbed the edge of the rock with both his hands. He made a place for his left foot to rest. Then he took a deep breath and shook his body with all his strength. The pain was so terrible that he screamed. The first attempt was unsuccessful, but he did not give up. He tried again, then the third time. Finally, in the third attempt, his foot came out. Now he pulled his injured foot out of the hole and started walking back to the woman. He did not want to die alone. But when he opened the woman's sleeping bag, a miracle happened in front of him. The woman was still alive. Seeing him, tears of joy flowed from the man's eyes. He kept apologizing to the woman. He said that he should never have left her. He was also thanking her, because the woman's being alive had given him a reason to live again. He took off his muffler and tied it on his injured foot so that the blood would stop flowing. After this, he took the woman and moved on again. Days passed. All his food was finished. He gave the woman the last drop of water. Now he sucked the snow to keep himself alive, and even the blood from his dry lips would melt. His body was completely broken. Now even walking on a flat road was as difficult as climbing a mountain for him. Wherever there was a climb, his condition would get worse. To lose weight, he started throwing all his belongings one by one, even those things that were the most precious to him. Finally, the situation had become so difficult that the man had to leave his most precious belongings. He even threw his signal transmitter because now he did not have the strength to pick it up and walk. After this, he started climbing alone on a high slope. His intention was to first go up and see what is the path ahead and if there is a ray of hope somewhere or not. But this time, fate played a strange game with him. As soon as he reached the top, his eyes fell far into the sky. A helicopter was flying there. For a few moments, he could not believe his eyes. After so many days of pain, hunger, cold, pain and struggle, suddenly a chance to escape was seen. All this happened so suddenly that he stood there for a few moments. But the next moment he came to his senses. He slid down the hill at full speed and reached the woman. He gathered all his remaining strength and pushed the woman's sledge and somehow brought her up. Then he immediately flared a signal and started calling for help, but there was no response from the helicopter. His heart began to tremble. He thought that the pilot had not seen him. He immediately took off his outer jacket and held her with both his hands and started fluttering in the air with all his strength. He kept shaking his hands. His mind space was responding here. The body was broken, but he was not stopping. He knew that this could be his last chance in life. He shouted with all his strength. His voice echoed in the snowy valley. "Help us here." His screams were coming back from the mountains. But maybe nothing was reaching the helicopter. He kept calling, again and again and again, but there was no answer. Gradually, the helicopter began to go away. He kept watching it go away. Then it got further away. After a while, it began to disappear behind the mountains. And finally, it was completely obscured by his eyes. At that moment, it felt as if all his hopes had also disappeared with the helicopter. After such a long struggle, when the destination was just within reach, he had to face despair again. He was completely broken. He filled his arms with his arms and began to cry. He had no plan left, no way left, no hope left. His body had already given an answer, and now his mind was also giving up. He slowly lay on the snow. He clasped both the hands of the woman in his hands. With his last remaining strength, he said a few words to the woman. His voice was very weak, like the last flame of an extinguished lamp. After this, his body could not support him anymore. He had heaviness on his eyelids. Gradually, his eyes began to close, and in the end, he fell completely unconscious on the snow. And this is where the movie ends. Thanks for watching. Subscribe this channel.